I ask for the truth on behalf of Luke Briant concerning relationship issues. Just broken up a few days ago or whatever, within the last week or two, and heartbroken, and wonders if there's any guidance from Spirit. And I ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we just cut the deck and place the top underneath, or is that the underneath on top? I don't know. Think about it for the rest of your life and tell me what happens. Probably when I'm not here, I don't know. And none of us will be here probably by the time you work the answer out. Talking about not being here though, just on a serious note there, you question in the Free Psychic Readings group on Facebook, you post there, you were wondering if your mum could come through and give you some guidance from the other side. Sadly, I don't summon, call up spirits that I don't know the name of. That's the danger primarily, like with Ouija board and things like that, although that is the spin that the mediums who charge money and are sort of losing out financially because people can do it, seances themselves free of charge with Ouija boards, or spirit boards as you would say. But I don't, like I say, I don't call up spirits that I haven't got a name for, so sadly we can't ask your mother's spirit at this time. Maybe another time when you feel ready to share the identity that we all have, a name, be it on the earth plane or the spirit plane there. But I like to think I can show just a bit of respect by mentioning the name. It's a shame that we could have done a mediumship reading. However, nevertheless, with the current situation that you're in, of course, we can ask Spirit for guidance, and we're using the fortune cards here, fortune telling cards, to just to see what we're doing. What I'm going to do is we're going to do like 3 cards there. The first card is in the position of the recent past. I suppose you could say that's a recent past influence, isn't it? And then the next card is the present influence there. That's of course what's happening now. And then of course the next one vibrates with the immediate future influence. Now, although you didn't provide a name, and we can't call up your mother because mothers without names don't really seem to work with me anyway. They might work with other people who are after a quick buck, but I'm not particularly that fussy. Nevertheless, you did provide a question in the sense of calling out for guidance upon what to do here. So maybe in a way, just maybe, your mother's spirit is here, just you never know. Although we don't know her name, she is here, maybe energising these cards for us. You just never know, do you? This is how spirit works, isn't it? It's spirit all said and done. Let's pull out the first card and let's just flip this first card to see what it shows us. Of course, the meaning of it, or the energy of it that it vibrates with, is vibrating with your recent past. And because you provided a question, and you've done the decent thing to ask for, because it's no use asking for guidance if you don't know what you want guidance on. You may as well keep your mouth shut. And a lot of people seem to say, can I have a reading please, and for some strange reason think we're all mind readers and know what they need guidance on, when all they really need is probably just somebody to probably talk to for half an hour, which is fine, isn't it, if that's what they say. But in your case, of course, you provided a question for guidance, and of course the recent past that this card vibrates with, the meaning of this card, you could say, or the interpretation, how it's interpreted, will be vibrating with your relationship situation, with this breakup that you've recently had. So let's see what that energy is. Now, isn't that strange that the energy of the Knight vibrates right now with you? The Knight is a member of the Royal Court in this particular deck of fortune-telling cards. and he represents triumph over adversity. Why am I sort of getting as though, for as broken as you are, naturally, you've broken up within a relationship. Naturally, it's terrible. But why do I sort of sense as though this is a blessing in disguise, and as though you have triumphed over the adversity? The adversary was probably her, and you've sort of triumphed. You've come out on top because you haven't got the burden of not so much having to look after her or anything like that, but the burden of the grief that you were. I got a funny feeling as though you were the one being got at. Usually relationships break up because people are getting at one another and arguing, aren't they? And things like that, and they don't quite vibrate with each other. I sort of got a feeling as though you're the one who was being got at. You weren't quite good enough and whatever. I wouldn't say you were pushover, you were staffed enough to be used as a doormat or anything like that, but certainly maybe when it came to DIY and odd jobs around the house, somebody else probably wouldn't pull the weight of it, or whatever it was, I don't know. But I get this sort of feeling as though you were the one being got at, and you, I wouldn't say you initiated the breakup, but certainly whoever did, it was an energy, the night there, the energy of the night, his spirit was there, as you could say, was there to help you, to protect you from worse things that could have happened if you hadn't have broke up at the time. Maybe that was your mother's spirit, maybe your mother is coming through as the night, through his energy, and acting as like a guardian angel in a way, really. Maybe that's what it was, I don't know, if you perceive it that way, because when we're all in spirit, we're all one soul anyway, in a way, aren't we? We're all sort of part of the universal collective anyway. We're all individual, but we're all part of the universal collective, aren't we? So, as I said, so maybe that's what it is. Let's just see what's going on right now, though. I suppose that's most important of all. We can define ourselves by what we did then, but we should really define ourselves by what we're doing now. And it does look as though, for as bad as you may be feeling, the energy of the cat, the vibration of the cat there, that's got like an Egyptian feel. The Egyptians used to like cats, didn't they? And maybe that's probably why this fortune deck is so strong and in showing that your luck will soon change right now. Maybe because you've released and got rid of, I wouldn't say good riddance to bad rubbish, I wouldn't go as far as saying that, but certainly things were, I suppose, building up to some sort of crescendo, and it was time for the finale, as you could say, and the orchestra has to get out the orchestra pit, and everybody has to go home eventually, don't they, when the tune is over, or when the concert is over. And I think it was, I got a funny feeling he died a natural death, to forgive the pun, in that sense. But it was a release, and you are the winner. You're the one who is the winner here, and you have been the winner between now and the 11th of March. I suppose you could say, if you want to give it a time and date, I suppose. Between now and this time last month, you became triumphant. You became the winner because you got out, and your luck is now changing. You're free again to move on. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, doesn't it? But how can you take that single step if your feet are tied? And that's really, nobody's saying we should badmouth the other side or anything. We can't pick sides. This is the thing. We can't pick sides when it comes to this. We can only offer the guidance that Spirit brings. Let's see what What else is on the cards, I should say, forgive the pun. We'll just flip the next card as normal, as we normally do in readings here, nice and slowly, not to disturb the energy. Notice you've got the Carduceus, isn't that interesting? It indicates that between now and, say, the 11th and 12th of May, if you want to give it a time and date between now and this time next month, about a moon phase ahead there. You'll be receiving news from afar. You'll be receiving some interesting development that's been going on at a distance. But notice the Carduceus of the snakes around the pole, and that indicates healing, doesn't it? So a healing, I would say really it's more of a healing process, maybe. The communication afar, or from afar, or whatever, the distance, maybe it could be a long distance relationship, I don't know. But certainly whoever it is you communicate with, even if it's like the Samaritans, as we mentioned in another reading, if it's somebody, maybe somebody working a counselling service, a free of charge counselling service working abroad, but we're all together when we're over the phone, or whatever it be, even if it's just maybe another psychic in another group, or in this group, or whoever we choose to talk to, just a friend, or whatever. Either way, it's that healing process and that communicating with people at a distance. Maybe in the sense, is it let's say a physical distance, or could this be a metaphorical distance? News from afar as more of a metaphorical distance, keeping your distance, so you don't get too close involved with, but just somebody at a distance you can communicate and help heal. That's the sort of thing I'm getting from it as well. Maybe you are, as you're just looking at him there in front of you there. While you're just sitting here, it's interesting just to think that. But of course, as I said, all these cards are positive. The energies cards, or the energies, the vibrations that have been given here are all positive. And if your mother, although we don't know her name sadly at this time, but if your mother's spirit is there, then clearly she's saying, son, you are the winner here. You are the one who's out of it. She's somebody else's problem now, and of course, regardless of how much it hurts, your luck is about to change. Your luck will soon change, and there's a healing process coming, and you'll hear news from afar, and something, you're going to hear something between now and this time next month, and it may be afar, as in the sense that near is sort of round the corner, where afar could be sort of the next village or the next city or something like that. It could be that sort of the distance. If it's physical distance, it doesn't necessarily mean halfway around the world, does it? Because halfway around the world is all you can go anyway, and otherwise you start coming back on yourself, and then that's when you start meeting yourself coming back, that's when you've got problems. So with that, really, for now there, Luke, I hope all goes well. Go well, stay well, and for now, these cards that speak the truth have now spoken.